There are people who, at 45, 50 years old, no longer depend on a paycheck and nobody around them knows it. They didn't invent an app. They didn't open a trendy restaurant. They run something so simple that people walk right past them without a second glance. They picked the most boring business they could find. And they didn't settle for surviving. They earn more than most employees with a master's degree, working fewer hours than those employees do. The difference isn't a brilliant idea, it's very specific categories that almost nobody considers a real business. After researching hundreds of these unglamorous businesses over the last 5 years, I narrowed it down to 25. Some of them are already right in front of you every day. Chances are you're paying someone else for one of them right now. My name is David. I hold a degree in business strategy and transformation, and for the past 7 years, I've dedicated myself to studying how people build real wealth. So let's get into the list. Roll-off dumpster rental. You buy one or several large metal containers, rent them out to contractors, remodelers, or families cleaning out a house, and charge for however long they keep it, plus a fee based on weight or volume. It's as simple as a dumpster waiting for someone to fill it. The barrier to entry is the dumpster itself, which you can finance or buy used, plus a truck fitted to haul it. The opportunity is strongest in areas with a lot of home remodeling, something that's grown alongside the aging of the U.S. housing stock, where most homes are now over 30 years old and owners are renovating kitchens, roofs, and bathrooms. The way to start without a huge amount of capital is to launch with 2 or 3 dumpsters and reinvest every dollar of profit into another one instead of taking out one big loan up front. Mobile car detailing. Instead of people bringing their car to a shop, you show up with water, products, and equipment at their home or office. The margin is high because your main cost is your time and some cleaning supplies, not a shop with monthly rent. The key to growing is offering recurring monthly packages to company fleets, realtors, insurance agents, used car dealers, all of whom need their vehicles looking sharp for clients at all times. A single contract with a 15-car dealership can generate more stable income than 20 scattered individual clients. Junk removal, families moving, estate cleanouts, offices closing. You show up with a truck, load everything up, and charge by volume. No inventory, no storefront needed. The winning strategy is to specialize in a niche, like clearing out properties after an eviction or an inheritance, because there's less competition there and people pay fast, without haggling, since they're usually under time pressure from a bank or a real estate agency. Partnering with real estate agents who handle foreclosed properties can become your main source of recurring clients. Fence installation and repair. Every new house, every new pet, every neighbor who wants privacy creates demand for fencing. You start with small repairs, which require minimal tools, and work your way up to full installations as you gain experience and referrals. The advantage is that materials are almost always paid for by the client up front, so your working capital stays low from the start, and the financial risk of each project is covered before you spend a single dollar. Spring months are peak season, so plan your tool inventory and crew with that surge in demand in mind. Gutter cleaning and installation. A job almost nobody wants to do because it means climbing onto a roof, which is exactly why it pays well. It's typically done twice a year in most regions with trees, usually fall and spring. The real opportunity is selling annual maintenance contracts instead of one-off visits, because that gives you predictable income each season instead of chasing new clients every time gutters need clearing. Pre-purchase home inspection. Every person buying a home in the United States, and in 2025 there were more than 4 million transactions according to National Association of Realtors data, needs an inspector before closing. It requires certification, but once you have it, each inspection pays off in a couple of hours, visually checking the roof, foundation, plumbing, and electrical. Build relationships with local real estate agents. They'll send you clients consistently because they need a reliable inspector for every closing, and a solid reputation among agents is worth more than any paid ad. The real growth opportunity is specializing in inspections for first-time buyers, a segment that usually has more questions and more anxiety, and that deeply values an inspector who explains things calmly instead of just handing over a technical report. Notary public and loan signing agent. In the United States, closing a mortgage requires someone to certify the signatures on the legal documents. You get certified as a notary and, additionally, as a loan signing agent, and title companies and banks pay you for every closing you attend, often right at the client's kitchen table or a coffee shop. It's an hour of work that pays like 4, and you can handle several closings the same day in different parts of the city. Mobile pet grooming. A truck or van equipped with a tub, dryer, and tools comes to the client's home. The pet owner doesn't have to deal with transport or their animal's anxiety in an unfamiliar place, and that justifies a higher price than a traditional fixed grooming salon. Pet spending in the US keeps climbing year after year, and mobile service is the fastest growing category within that spending because more and more owners treat their pets as family and are willing to pay for convenience. A solid launch strategy is offering the first visit at a discount to owners with more than one pet, because once they book, they tend to turn it into a fixed monthly appointment for all their animals. Septic tank pumping and maintenance. Millions of homes outside urban areas aren't connected to municipal sewer lines and rely on a septic tank that needs pumping every 3 to 5 years. It's not glamorous, but it's a service nobody puts off once the time comes because the consequences of neglecting it are immediate and unpleasant. Odors, flooding, property damage. Repeat business is practically automatic. All you need is an email or text reminder system, so the client comes back every 3 years without you having to chase them down. The biggest upfront investment is the vacuum truck. So many people start by partnering with an already established operator before buying their own equipment. Chimney sweeping. Seasonal, technical, and with practically no competition in many mid-sized US cities. Certification takes weeks, not years, through programs recognized by industry associations. Peak season is right before winter, when families want to use their fireplace without a fire risk, so you can pair it with another business from this list, like gutters or roofing, to keep income spread out through the year, instead of concentrated in just a few months. Now let me ask you something. How many of these first 10 businesses have you personally hired without ever thinking about who was behind them? Probably more than one. So I hope this is opening up a different perspective for you on how these boring businesses can actually be very profitable, since almost nobody thinks of them as a real business opportunity. Tree trimming and removal. It requires more equipment and safety training, but it also pays considerably more than regular lawn care because it involves real risk from working at height and with heavy machinery. Homeowners' insurance companies frequently require damaged trees to be removed after storms in order to approve a claim, which creates predictable demand spikes tied to hurricane season or heavy snowfall, and rates rise significantly during those spikes because urgency drives the price. Locksmith services. Nobody plans on losing their keys. It's an emergency service, which means you can charge premium rates outside normal hours in the middle of the night or on weekends, without the client questioning it much because they need to get into their house or car right now. The barrier to entry is low, basic tools and certification, and client loyalty is high once they trust you, because nobody wants to go locksmith shopping again under pressure. They save your number and call you back. Appliance repair. With the price of new appliances rising faster than general inflation, more and more people would rather repair than replace a washer or a refrigerator. It's a technical trade learned through brand or appliance-specific certifications, and demand stays constant because washers and refrigerators break down all year round. Regardless of whether the economy is booming or slowing, laundry still has to get done. The opportunity lies in specializing in high-end brands, where owners would rather pay for an expensive repair than replace equipment that costs them thousands of dollars. Preventive HVAC maintenance. I'm not talking about full installations, but maintenance contracts, checking filters, refrigerant levels, duct cleaning twice a year, before summer and before winter. It's the subscription model applied to a physical service where the client pays up front and you organize your calendar months in advance. With an 8% projected growth rate for HVAC technicians according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, demand for maintenance is set to keep climbing alongside new installations in the coming years. Asphalt and concrete sealing and repair. Business parking lots, driveways, private neighborhood streets. Asphalt cracks with heat and cold, and sealing it in time prevents much more expensive repairs down the road, something most property managers know, which is why they budget for it every year. It's a warm season business in most states, which lets you work intensely for a few months and then rest or pair it with a cold season business, like snow removal, for the rest of the year. And I want you to notice something that repeats across almost all of these businesses. None of them depend on the economy being good. A pool still needs chemicals during a recession. An air conditioner still breaks down. That's exactly what makes a business boring, and it's also what makes it resilient. Let's move on to the last 10. Estate sale organizing and management. When someone passes away or moves into assisted living, the family needs to sell off the entire contents of a house. Furniture, art, collectibles, tools, everything. You organize, appraise, and sell it all, either through an in-person event or an online auction, charging a commission on what sells, typically between 25% and 40%. It requires a good eye for the value of things and some emotional patience, since you're often working with grieving families, but it requires no inventory of your own and no storefront. You use the house itself as your point of sale. Local moving services. I'm not talking about long-haul moves with large fleets, but moves within the same city, between nearby apartments or houses. You start with a truck and 2 people, charging by the hour or by the job. Word of mouth in this business is huge, in a good way, because every well-done move generates immediate referrals among neighbors and family members who are about to move too, and the cost of landing each new client drops toward almost zero over time. Partnering with apartment building managers, who see moves happening all month long, can become your most reliable client channel. Express self-service car wash. Different from a traditional car wash with employees. Here the customer does almost all the work themselves using the machines you installed or uses an automated tunnel. Once the equipment is set up, the business runs almost on its own, with very little staff, usually just someone to supervise and handle maintenance. The upfront investment is higher than most items on this list, but ongoing operating maintenance is minimal compared to businesses that depend on daily labor, which makes it one of the few on this list that comes closest to a truly passive business. Secure document destruction. Businesses, medical offices, and law firms are legally required to destroy documents containing sensitive information in a certified way, especially under financial and health data privacy regulations. You show up with a mobile industrial shredder, destroy the documents on site in front of the client, and issue a signed certificate of destruction. It's a recurring service because documents never stop piling up as long as a business keeps operating, so you can sell monthly or quarterly pickup contracts. Commercial linen rental and laundry for hotels and restaurants. Different from personal laundry service. Here you work under commercial contracts, delivering and picking up clean tablecloths, towels, and sheets several times a week on a fixed schedule. The contract is the real asset of this business, not the washing machine. Once you sign 3 or 4 mid-sized hotels or restaurants, you have guaranteed recurring income for months with predictable volumes that let you plan equipment purchases with confidence. A fun fact before we close out the list: several of these 20 businesses can be run 2, 3, or even 4 at once because they don't compete for the same hours of the day. Someone doing pool maintenance in the mornings can easily manage small properties in the afternoons. That's also worth keeping in mind. Contract snow removal. In states with harsh winters, businesses and residential complexes sign full-season contracts at a fixed rate, no matter how many times it snows during that season. If you bought the right equipment, a truck with a plow, or even just snowblowers for smaller properties, every heavy snow season translates directly into more profit because your cost is already covered by the contract signed back in fall before the first snowflake ever falls. Small property management. I'm not talking about managing skyscrapers, but managing between 5 and 20 rental properties for owners who don't want to deal with tenants, repairs, or monthly collections. You charge a monthly percentage of the rent, generally between 8% and 12%, plus fees for placing new tenants. It's one of the few businesses on this list with genuinely recurring income month after month without depending on constantly landing new clients, because once a property owner trusts you, they rarely switch managers. The fastest way to land your first clients is approaching owners with 2 or 3 properties who are tired of getting calls at midnight about a burst pipe. Small advertising space rental. You rent space on fences, walls, or plots of land visible from local roads and sublease that space to small local businesses for advertising like auto shops, family restaurants, or dental clinics. You don't need to own the land, just negotiate usage with whoever does, put up a simple structure, and land local advertisers who pay monthly to keep their brand visible in a high-traffic area. Firewood and compost delivery. In cold or rural areas, people still heat their homes with firewood through the winter, and in suburban areas, more and more people buy compost for gardening, especially in spring. It's a seasonal business with decent margins if you have access to a cheap source of material, like sawmills or nurseries with surplus they'd otherwise throw out, plus a truck for scheduled deliveries by zone. The most profitable strategy is selling full-season subscriptions, charging up front in exchange for a discount, instead of waiting for one-off orders every time someone runs out of firewood. Pool maintenance and cleaning. Here's the one almost nobody mentions. Every residential pool needs a weekly chemical check, no exceptions, regardless of the economy, regardless of whether the owner is on vacation or not. A single technician can service between 80 and 120 pools a week on well-organized routes by geographic zone, charging a fixed monthly fee for each one. Do the math. That's recurring, predictable income, with clients who rarely cancel because the risk of a neglected pool, green water, bacteria, damage to the filtration system, is far more expensive than the monthly service fee. It's boring, it's repetitive, it means getting up early and driving around all morning between houses, and that's exactly why almost nobody else wants to do it. That's the whole point. The discomfort of the work is the barrier to entry that keeps the competition away. 3 mistakes most people make when choosing one of these businesses. Before we get to the close, I want to talk about 3 mistakes I see people make over and over, people who do work up the courage to start one of these 25 businesses, but end up giving up before it pays off. The first mistake is choosing based on profit margin instead of choosing based on real demand in your area. It doesn't matter how profitable pool maintenance is in Arizona, if you live somewhere, almost nobody has a pool. Before buying equipment or getting certified in anything, spend a week counting how many businesses or homes near you could already use that service. It's boring research, like everything on this list, but it saves you months of frustration. The second mistake is competing on price from day one. When you're starting out, the temptation is to charge less than everyone else to land your first clients fast. The problem is that a client who came to you because you were the cheapest leaves the moment they find someone even cheaper. The people who build lasting businesses from this list compete on reliability, showing up on time, responding fast, doing the job right the first time. Over time, that lets you charge more than average, not less. The third mistake, and the most common one, is failing to turn one-off clients into recurring contracts. I've mentioned this several times throughout this list already. The difference between a business that wears you down and one that gives you freedom comes down to whether you have to go out and find a new client every week, or whether you already have a client base that pays you month after month without you having to ask. Every time you finish a job well done, the question you should be asking yourself isn't, how do I land the next client? But how do I turn this client into something recurring? Which of these 25 is right for you? I know that looking at the full list can feel overwhelming, so let me give you a quick way to filter it down. If you have limited capital, less than $3,000 to get started, focus on businesses that depend more on your time than on expensive equipment. Junk removal, mobile car detailing, locksmith work once you're certified, or pool maintenance. In all of these, your main investment is learning the trade and picking up the first basic tools, not buying machinery. If you have a bit more capital, between $10,000 and $30,000, and you're willing to wait a little longer to see a return, consider dumpster rental, small-scale self-service car washes, or snow removal equipment. These require more upfront investment, but they also generate income with fewer direct hours of your own work once they're up and running. If your strength isn't physical labor but organization and people skills, look at small property management, estate sale organizing, or notary and loan signing work. These are businesses where your value lies in reliability and managing other people's time well, not in lifting heavy things. And if you still have a full-time job and can't quit right away, most of these businesses can be started on weekends or after office hours. That's exactly what Alex did, and it's the safest route, testing the business without betting your only income while you build a client base. Let me confess something. For a long time, I also thought a real business had to sound impressive in conversation. That it had to involve technology, an app, something that sounded like Silicon Valley. I remember spending months putting together business plans for ideas I never actually executed, simply because I was embarrassed to tell someone I'm going to clean pools instead of I'm launching a startup. Looking back, that embarrassment cost me time I'm never getting back. It took me years of studying real wealth patterns to understand that most people who built solid net worth in this country did it with businesses they wouldn't even mention at a party. Morgan Housel puts it well in his book Same as Ever. Boring, steady, predictable money almost always beats exciting money. Because exciting money depends on your luck holding out, and boring money only depends on you continuing to show up and work. It's no coincidence that this entire list is full of businesses nobody brags about, but that almost nobody quits once they try them. If there's one thing I've learned watching people who actually achieve financial freedom, it's that almost all of them, at some point, had to swallow their pride and start with something that didn't look good on paper. I want to close with Daniel and Alex. 5 years ago, the two of them earned practically the same salary, around $58,000 a year, in fairly similar office jobs, in the same city, with similar expenses. Daniel kept waiting for the perfect business. He read about real estate investing, about dropshipping, about crypto. He bought 3 different online courses on how to generate passive income and never finished any of them. Every time he was about to start something, he found a reason to wait a little longer, research a little more, save a little more before taking the leap. 5 years later, Daniel is still in the same office, with the same salary barely adjusted for inflation, and with the constant feeling that the right moment never quite arrives. Alex, on the other hand, started with the simplest item on this list: pool maintenance on weekends while keeping his office job during the week. He bought basic equipment with his savings, landed his first 5 clients by knocking on doors in his own neighborhood, and reinvested every dollar of profit into tools and local advertising instead of spending it. Within a year and a half, he had 40 steady clients and quit his office job. Today he manages 3 routes with 2 employees, earns more than $140,000 a year, and works fewer hours than he did at the office because he no longer has to personally show up to every single pool. He didn't invent anything. He didn't take a chance on some revolutionary idea. He simply picked something boring, executed it consistently for months when he probably didn't feel like it, and let the lack of competition, the same lack of competition that exists because nobody's excited about this kind of work, do the rest. The difference between Daniel and Alex was never intelligence or the opportunities available to them. Both had access to the same information, the same internet, the same books. The difference was the willingness to start with something that doesn't sound impressive at a dinner party, and to stick with it long enough for it to stop being boring and start being profitable. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments which of these 25 surprised you the most. Or if you already know someone who quietly lives off one of them without anyone around them knowing. Let me know too, if you're thinking about starting one yourself. I'd love to know which one and why. If this video helped you, give it a like so it reaches more people, and subscribe so you don't miss videos like this every week. Remember, the best way to reach financial freedom is by building multiple income streams that pay you without eating up a ton of your time month after month. So let's get after it.